Well, we start with two women who are leading our safety in Reno and throughout urban areas around Nevada. As Kim Burrows explains, both are the first women in their roles.
Chief Kathryn Nance, in charge of 363 sworn officers on the streets of Reno and about 100 other staff members on the Reno Police Department. She's the first female chief at RPD, but she never dreamed she'd end up here.
I was 21, I had two little kids, and my mom said, you need a real job, and you need insurance and benefits, and bartending's not going to cut it.
Nance started at the Stockton Police Department, where she noticed few women in the academy. In her 26 years with the department, it was apparent there were not a lot of women in leadership roles.
Never really worked for a woman. I never had a sergeant or a lieutenant or anybody that was a woman that I came in contact with in my career.
Nance left Stockton as a deputy chief of operations, where she oversaw 400 sworn officers and other personnel and was responsible for a $107 million budget. She never felt an overall discrimination as she rose through the ranks, but there were some comments.
Little things like that people would say that made me realize that they weren't sure of my abilities based on my gender.
Fast forward to the Reno Police Department. The comments continued.
They'll ask me really weird questions like, well, have you ever arrested anybody? And yes, I've arrested a lot of people. And they just don't see me in that role.
Now, as she just celebrated her 2 years with the department, Nance says she promotes an equal playing field for all genders. She has some advice for the future generation and becoming a woman leader.
Find a role model, look around, even if you don't see it in your community, find one somewhere else.
We go from one woman who manages the urban environment to another who manages the forest. Kacey KC, yes, that's her real name, is the state forester fire warden. In the hall, there are several photos of men who came before her, but she is the first woman in this position.
You know, just because it's a male-dominated industry, it doesn't mean that you aren't worthy of being in that position. And, you know, as long as you work hard and you understand what you're trying to do, it's like you can do it.
This Naden Nevadan from Gardnerville knew early on that she would do something outdoorsy. As she graduated with a forestry degree from the University of Montana, she spent 23 years with the State Division of Forestry and 8 as the state forester fire warden. The significance as the first woman didn't impact Kacey in the beginning.
I was just working hard to get to where I was, and so I didn't think too much about it until I heard the responses of people who were like, wow, this is really cool. My own daughters, I have 2 daughters myself, and they were like, Mom, this is really cool. And
2 women, each in first-of-a-kind roles, making a difference and protecting our communities. Kim Burrows reporting.